Oh man, are you ready for this?
So with the history lesson that we just had, this brings us to the present and KOF 15. Yeah, so by the time this episode will be out, we will be very close to the actual release of KOF 15. Something that I'm sure you're very excited about.
I'm fucking following that Twitter. You know, there's this Twitter that is like days until KOF 15.
Oh, yeah.
Like we're at day 30. We're at like 33 days right now.
Well, you mentioned in the that you didn't really believe in KOF 14, and as I said, I don't think anybody did. Even SNK kind of like they were kind of like, you know, we're a company that makes fighting games. Like, let's make another one for our flagship, but you know, don't spend too much money on it. Don't spend too much time on it. That's the impression that it gave people. You know, the average Joe and Jane. That's how they felt.
Yeah, it was also developed a lot by produced by Tencent, basically.
Oh,
which is that Chinese company. And there's some characters that were introduced in the game that, you know, even though they were cool in their own right, there are parallels to, you know, proper anime tropes, like he and the butler guy, you know. He's that Ojo-sama fucking butler guy in anime. And, you know, you have some interesting picks like Sylvie Paula, who is based on an actual idol who did all these outlandish costume designs.
Oh, that's right,
stuff.
yeah.
You know, like, example, the poster boy, Shune, is designed using China's anti-trend fashion, which is a trend. So it's ironic. Like, what the fuck? But, you know, KOF 14, for all its design decisions, and it did look better down the line.
Of course,
when they decided to patch it. There was also, the biggest problem in that game was crouching light kick, light punch max mode. Okay, so a lot of tournaments and the meta around the game, because it being only one bar, it's for max mode combos is like, you know, it's like basically the most optimal thing to do, and you can't actually use your EXs outside of max mode. So it was a very interesting time. Yeah, and of course the netcode being bad, but it's actually one of the highest selling KOF games.
Oh.
I was actually watching the Steam charts after the KOF 15 beta, the first one.
Yeah. And
I was like, wow, they're actually selling KOF 14. Like, people were buying the game because they were trying it out. It was, you know, it's really interesting to me, and I was like kind of happy feeling.
Yeah, of course, that's a good thing. Yeah.
But, you know, when we talk about things like KOF 13, for example, a lot of KOF purists will tell you that it's actually the game that feels the least like KOF. You know, I mean, it's not hard truth fact blah blah blah.
Of course,
but this is also something I believe in. So for me, when I play KOF 15, I feel like it harkens really back to like 98.
Yeah, that's what I felt too, and that's why I don't remember if I have mentioned this on my podcast or on the Discord, but you know, the beta for KOF 15 came out on the same day that the dungeon fight that
DNF duel.
Yeah, DNF duel. Yeah. Came out, and I played that game. Made me want to hang myself. I didn't want to live in a world where people were playing that piece of shit. And then I was like, hey, I mean, if I'm gonna die, I might as well play the KOF 15 beta first, you know.
Okay.
And then
I mean,
I'm like,
what were you thinking about KOF 15 before?
I was not.
You tried the beta.
I was not thinking anything about this game, you know, because I have carpal tunnel in both my hands, and I live in a small town where nobody around my age has the time to play any fighting games anymore. I don't either. The internet sucks here, and I was thinking that, you know, I'm never gonna play another fighting game again. That's why I was practicing freaking roll cancels in CVS, because that's all that was left for me in the fighting games scene.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, give it a try. I mean, you downloaded the thing, so you might as well try it. And I got that same kind of feeling as you said, because I mean, for a game that has had like close to 20 different versions, what is the real version of KOF anyway? You know, everybody will define that differently. But to me, the beta for 15 gave me that kind of feeling that, you know, okay, this is a good game that's worth spending time with. There's a lot of depth here, and there's things to discover, which is one of my favorite things. And it's actually like I'm gonna use this in a dismissive manner, but it's how I feel. It feels like a game. It feels like an actual game. DNF Duel felt like a cutscene that sometimes maybe like it felt like a QT game, like a quick time event game, where sometimes you'd press like a button and you'd see something cool, but you know that it wasn't really you. It was a scripted thing by the programmers that just happens to look cool. This was something like I felt that in like the Street Fighter V, the very last beta, because I played all those betas for that game. The first couple were good, then the third one was a piece of shit, and the game came out and it was horrible. And then the Dragon Ball Fighters beta was also awful, but I didn't want to see it at the time. And the Guilty Gear Strive beta, both of them were like a disgrace. And then here comes KOF, and it's actually like a good game, the kind of game that I remember playing and enjoying.
Yeah, that's the really interesting thing, I feel, because KOF does not change very much game to game.
Yeah.
You know, in terms of like how it feels. Its mechanics, so they will try different mechanics. They will put in a fucking tag system. They put in a fucking assist system. You know, so many different things. They even have like, oh, these characters are friends with each other, so if they're in a team, they will get extra meter. Yeah, some bullshit like that. Okay, but the interesting thing is that it's like here we are with a game that harkens back to the old days, but with modern day sensibilities that are put in. You know, nothing is as tight as in, you know, KOF 97 or 98 or whatever. Doing maximal combos is not going to be as hell on your hands as KOF 2002, for example. You know, you have all these ideas that they put into the game currently. And I honestly feel that, you know, there are many fighting games coming out and have come out that for, you know, to their audience, they like it, they enjoy the game, they enjoy how the game flows, they enjoy how hit stop works and all that stuff. Yep, that's great. But when I think about veterans, like, you know, old school players who you grew up watching playing these games and seeing them over the years, and watching them do expression, watching them figuring out how to control the pace of the match. I feel like that's exactly what KOF 15 is shaping up to be for the modern day fighting game crowd. Because, you know, we can make jokes all day that fucking KOF is just hopping, it's fucking grasshoppers and all that. But people don't understand that KOF is all about dictating the pace. That's what's fascinating about it's neutral. Like, you can fight all the guys who are doing fucking hopping over and over. But if you are good enough to stuff them, make them force them to stay ground neutral, and then whenever they do a hop or they jump in at you, you know, if it's not set up well or whatever, you're going to end up killing them for it.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. To me, that's the mark of a good game. If it's a good fighting game is the one that allows you to punish stupid mistakes. If a guy keeps jumping, or if they never block on wake up, or, you know, they just what they call bulldogging, like the press forward on their stick or their pad and just coming towards you all the time. It's like I need to be able to punish that in a way that will make that will put the fear of God in them, you know? It's like, if somebody keeps jumping on me and I do like 3 anti-airs, and by the third one they're dizzy, and then I get like a huge ass combo.
Yeah.
Mentally, they're gonna be in a place where they will be like, you know, okay, so all I know, I only know how to jump, and I cannot clearly cannot jump anymore. So what do I do now? And when they're thinking that, that's when you counterattack and you win the round in the game.
Yeah.
But if the reward from them bunny hopping all the entire time is to get a big fat ass combo on me because I don't have any anti-airs,
yeah,
Street Fighter V, that's when we have a problem, you know?
You know, it's really interesting that the other day Brian F put out a video about Street Fighter V's DP.
Yeah.
You know, how the invincibility is actually split up into 3 sections with the normal buttons.
Yeah.
Like basically you don't have a full invincible DP anymore, but you do have a DP that is involved to throws, involved to jump-ins, and involved to just meaties or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to use one of the DPs. And I actually, you know, especially even though a lot of people don't like Street Fighter V, I actually agree with that because that's what I've been doing in KOF.
Yeah, for like decades. And CVS 1 and 2, they were the same, I think, a lot of DPs in that game.
No. Okay, so let me explain. Basically, you know, you have the invincible DP. Yeah. But you also have the DP that is just for
throws,
anti-airing.
Yeah.
Or no.
Oh.
You see, it's like one is for invincible. Like if, for example, Iori's DP.
Yeah.
His DP, his hard DP is full invincible. Yeah. His light DP, however, is unpunishable if you block it, you know. But, you know, there is some merit to using it. So basically, the idea that why do I have multiple DPs if I only really use one is not something. I mean, in a way, you know, Street Fighter 4, for example, Ken's light DP.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was an approach tool. Stuff like that.
And like a quick get off me move that wasn't really invincible, but, you know, worked in a pinch.
Yes. Like, you know, just like, oh, I'm going to fuck up your block string.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't really punish me when I land.
Yeah, maybe you got like a medium punch on them as a punish, and it was like, yeah, who cares?
You know, it's really interesting that in KOF 15, they actually brought a lot of far-standing normals as special cancel. Back in 14, there wasn't many. So, especially because the meta was, if I'm going to do a far-standing mono, I'm just going to go do max mode. Yeah. So it's really interesting that what they did with KOF 15, because KOF 15 basically says, I can whiff punish you. It may not be the biggest range like in Guilty Gear or anything like that with a weapon or a sword or whatever, but I am going to be able to whiff punish you. I am able to crouching light punch, light kick punish you. I am going, you know, the fastest button in KOF is traditionally standing close heavy punch.
Huh. I did not know that. But it makes sense now that you mention it, yeah.
Yeah, it's 3 frames, and you know, what is the counter to that? People will tell you, hold back heavy punch OS because it's either a throw or it's a 3 frame. Yeah. So it's one of those things where basically KOF 15 has it's not full screen stuff. Yes, there are moves that go across the screen, like K-Dash or you know, with his flying kick or whatever. It's just so interesting that they are going to be able to. You're going to be able to see old school mentality in this kind of game, with a lot of ideas for using meter, a lot of ideas for how neutral is going to work, how you're going to control neutral. And I think that's the most important and interesting part of the game, you know, with the movement options, how you're going to be able to spend meter. how you're going to have to manage the different setups and areas in the game. Like, you know, you're going to have a combo for the corner. You're going to have to have a combo for mid-screen. And, you know, that's going to be really interesting for a lot of old school players, I feel. And I'm really hoping to see expression and character loyalists, you know, Street Fighter 4 days, basically.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's funny how Street Fighter 4 is like the good old days now.
God, yeah. You know, there's all this universal system mechanics and how characters are better point characters, for example.
Yeah.
Did you play Cronin in the second beta?
Was that? I'm not good with names.
It's the guy with the goggles, and he can turn his hand into a drill.
Oh yeah. I messed around with him for a while. Yeah.
It's really interesting because me and Lionheart and we play offline. You can see some of our matches. Like, he believes that Cronin is more of a anchor character. I mean, this is just 1 or 2 days worth of beta thoughts, but whatever. Whereas I think that Cronin is a better point character because Cronin has all these multi-hitting moves. You know, if you do forward light punch, it's going to hit like 6 times.
Whoa. Yeah.
So that means more meter.
Yeah.
You know, he's not going to do big damage. He's not going to do whatever in that range with no meter. So I feel like, you know, when we were discussing and figuring out how to play the game, there were so many, what's it called? Variables.
Yeah. Well,
so,
I was going to mention that word too. Yeah. So exactly, you get so many variables, which is not something that a lot of new fighting games have. You get like maybe a handful of variables in any Street Fighter 5 or Guilty Gear Strive game. And I want to make an episode on that actually at some point of how by catering to the sponsored players, most games that are trying to also be esports are cutting down on the variables because they want the same people to keep winning, so they keep making more money. So more variables to that is not something that they want. It's a god-awful video by a guy called Sir Action Slacks. He's a Dota 2 guy. He talks about my favorite character in the game of Dota 2 called Wind Ranger. These days, there was like a copyright thing there with Blizzard. Anyway.
Was it like Sylvanas Windrunner?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was Sylvanas' sister who was lost in Warcraft 2 during the Dark Portal thing, and then she came back in WoW at some point. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so yes, so he was talking about how Windrunner has a lot of RNG in her mechanics, so that puts in more variables into the equation of a game, and that's a bad thing because, you know, you don't want variance, you want to be able to see the same thing over and over again. That's his argument, not in those exact words, but that's what he's trying to say. And I feel that is what fighting games in general are also trying to do. But that's why, for example, nobody's making a game like Marvel vs. Capcom anymore, because that game is just like, you know, what do you call that? It's not a clash. It's like, you know, when you get like 2 characters next to each other and they call their assists and they press, for example, down B, you don't really know who's going to win. And the entire idea of a game like Marvel is to minimize the possibility of that happening, because you're controlling the variables and you're designing a game plan exactly on that. That's why the best theme in the game was Chris G's theme with Morgan and Doom, which was exactly designed to combat that issue of classes. Let's call them classes. I don't remember the exact name. So, you know, Morgan and Doom control the entire screen. Yes. So everything goes exactly... It's
going according to plan. It's
like exactly. And
set your game plan.
And the better you are at the game, the better your plan will, you know, come to fruition.
I feel that basically what they're the idea that how they're playing, how modern fighting games and modern games esports a lot of it is come down to execution.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like, how solid are you at this game plan? Whereas I feel like, you know, there is going to be a meta, you know, there's always going to be a meta, but in KOF 15, I feel like there's so many ways that you can set up things just by how your character is positioned. In like, is it going to be point or mid or anchor? There's a lot of thought that goes into why you're going to want to do this or that. So I feel that when you want to play, if you want to play KOF 15, it's like there's so many things to consider and there's so many things to understand about the game. And I feel that people are more afraid of it than
they should.
Than they should. Yeah, that's the sad part.
Yeah.
You know, because they're like, oh, I just want to play this one character. No, I don't want to find 3 characters.
Yeah.
That's like the base level of barrier of entry. So it's pretty crazy. But like, okay, so like when I was playing the beta, you know, I play Blueberry. I've always loved playing her. I'm not just like a bandwagoner or anything. But oh my god, it's so crazy that there is actually, you know, it doesn't do the touch of death combo, but I can actually do max mode after a blue max. So when you do a blue max, you can do max mode quick, which is canceled from a normal. So basically, bop, bop, V trigger, right?
Yeah.
So it's bop, bop, max mode, and then there is max mode quick, where basically, blue max, which is raw max mode. And what happens in that is that you gain a longer max mode bar, and you also have more damage and more guard crush damage.
Oh.
So you can set that up for you can activate it for setups and all that. But my point is, in this for Blue Mary, she is like one of the only characters I've found, and I think on Twitter as well, that she can do a quick max combo that goes into a blue max combo, into a blue max. Normally you have to activate it raw. So when are you going to get the chance to do this? Now what happens is that you can actually do an EX move that makes the character juggle higher after you've done a certain set of strings into that combo. So what happens is that because they're higher and they take a longer time to be affected by your hit stun again, you do blue max. That time has passed, and now you're able to combo into that. And I'm just like, where the fuck am I seeing this from? It's not a system exploit. It's like so specific, but it still seems quite viable because it's just a corner combo.
Yeah.
You know, and going into the corner is not hard. I mean, fucking, if you play Rugal, there was this FGC term where it's like, take that bitch to the wall, because Rugal can do that running grab that pushes you into the wall.
Yeah, but this thing that you mentioned with Blue Mary, that's a design choice by SNK. They want their game to have this sort of depth in it.
Yes.
So it's like, you know, it's as I like to say, I always mention it, it fosters player expression. You know, you thought of it and you were like, oh, would that work? And then it works. It's a good feeling. It makes it, because, you know, it's still a game. It should be something that should make you feel good when playing it, not like a chore.
If you want to talk about design decisions that encourage expression, I think it's really prominent in the counter hit on anti-air counter hit with certain moves. And I don't mean like DPs or anything. Basically, it allows for a juggle.
Okay.
So if this game gets that deep and people are that obsessed with coming up with things for it, you're going to see counter hit, anti-air counter hits that go into a juggle and then go into a full combo.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. You are going to see, for example, DPing on wake up might be the biggest fucking mistake. I'm not sure, but it might, because you can blue max and combo after and punish from there. So that means because the red max does not have these buffs. So when you do, that's why every time you go on YouTube and it fucking gives you a recommendation where the guy just blue maxes and then he does the full touch of death combo.
That's not very realistic.
Yeah, it's not very realistic, but if that is a thing that happens in after somebody does like a DP or whatever, and there is enough time to do that, you know, especially because different characters have different DPs, have different wake up options, have different this, that, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
You're going to see some blue max actual combos and punishes. And you're also going to see blue max setups where, okay, I've already taken this guy to the wall. You know, I'm going to blue max, I'm going to do my meaty fireball, I'm gonna go jump in, blah 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 blah. You know, there's gonna be so many things. I'm so hyped in this idea of that there's going to be so many situations that don't require the what's it called, the flow chart idea of how I'm going to take on this situation. You know? Yeah,
I hear that.
You know, there's also, you know, you have to worry about your meter as options for defense, because you have guard cancel rolls. You have guard cancel CD, which is the blowback attack. You have fucking Shatter Strike now. You know, you're gonna have your EX moves to use as DPs or whatever. So.
Sorry, Shatter Strike, could you explain that to me, because I don't really remember what it is.
So Shatter Strike is basically an armored CD blowback move.
Yeah.
Right. So you have a guard point that will absorb a hit, and then if you hit the guy, you will, the meter cost for Shatter Strike is 1 bar, but if you hit the guy, you get back half bar.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So it does lead to scaled combos, but the crazy thing is, if you do it in the middle of a match, or like somebody tries to do something on you and you Shatter Strike him, and if it's on the ground, they crumple, so they get on their knees, and then you can do a combo. If they jump in, it wall bounces them. It sends them to the wall and they bounce off to be attacked by it. There's going to be some very interesting situations where we're not even sure if Shatter Strike is good yet.
Yeah, it's not something that you can really see unless people spend a lot of time with the game, I guess.
Yeah,
but it sounds very interesting. Practically, I don't know.
Well, you also can use it in the middle of a combo, but again, it will scale your damage a little bit. But you have guard cancel CD or guard cancel roll.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? That means one is fuck your block string, I'm gonna push you away for a bit.
Yeah.
The other is I'm gonna roll through your block string, and if you're doing a thing with a lot of animation, get ready to eat a combo from behind.
Yeah.
And that's old school KOF. That's old school. That's been in the game forever. Again, meter is going to be so important in this game. And how you're going to choose to use meter is going to be really important in this game. And how you're going to actually save meter for your other characters, because maybe this character is only good if he has meter.
Yeah. Yeah, the user, as we call it in Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really crazy.
There's a lot of decisions to be made.
You know, it gives you that feeling of how old school fighting games, maybe more specifically in a KOF, as a KOF player. You know, I feel that this is the time for, you know, KOF esports and KOF big competitions and just KOF playing in general. You know, they had the year-long marketing, which it's really interesting because I feel that, to me, I liked it. But why do I like it? Because I'm a fucking KOF fan, right?
Yeah.
But when did they start doing the bigger marketing? Like they started showing that was they showed it to a lot more people, and a lot more people got interested. Like people who are not KOF players. That was when they started doing the betas.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was such a fun year. It was such a fun year because I was like, who's going to be the next character? Oh, okay, so they released this character. Oh shit, so they didn't do it in order. They're doing it in another team. Oh my god, what the fuck is going on? You know?
Yeah, like the shadow teasers for all the characters.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that some people may not like it because they're like, dude, show me the fucking game. I don't care about all the, all that stuff. But no, for people who love the lore and like, okay, who would make sense for this character to team up with? Oh, okay, maybe it could be this, maybe it could be that,
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, but still no Kim, so... Why are so... I can understand Mai. You remember the whole thing with KOF 12. No Mai, no buy.
No Mai, no buy.
Yeah. I can understand that to an extent because,
Not like as if there's so many fucking great-looking women in KOF, but
I
okay,
know, right?
on.
Yeah. Mai is the one they know and they want something to complain about, Nobody's gonna... What's the sumo girl from like 98 or whatever? No, 99. Hinata, yeah. Nobody's gonna complain about Hinata because nobody remembers her. Hinako, yes. Hinako, yeah.
I got 4 letters correct. It's like Wordle.
That's good enough.
It's like Wordle, I got the four letters correct. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
So Hinako, nobody's going to complain about her not being in the game.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there are. Trust me, there are.
I bet there are. People will complain about anything. Yeah,
so what about Kim?
So for me, this is something that I have noticed over the years, but I don't have any facts to base this assumption on. It's just,
okay.
My takeaway from all this is that people will always look for an excuse not to do something. So if some people have decided that, I like KOF, I like all those things, but I don't want to play KOF 15, and they don't really do it.
No Kim,
yeah, exactly. And it's probably not even like conscious, it's like subconscious thing. They're like, oh my god, no Kim Cap 1? This is preposterous. I'm never gonna play this game now. And they feel justified
funny.
Because of that. Yeah.
It's really funny because, okay, so Lionheart, when I introduced him to KOF, he was like, I'm gonna play Mai, I'm gonna play Terry, I'm gonna play Iori.
Yeah.
And then he's like, no, I'm not gonna try any other character. Fuck that, no. I like Terry. Mai's cool. Iori has the best voice. Why the fuck would I play any other character? So, and then we played the second beta. And, a lot of people complained about like, if they never touched the game, they complained that it was like, such a weak roster. There was nobody to play, nobody I liked, blah, blah, blah. But he played, it was literally more fun than the first beta we played. It was so insane. It was such a strange feeling because, he had his, like, okay, he got Terry in this beta. But in the first beta, he was playing, he didn't really enjoy he did enjoy Dolores. He enjoyed Dolores, he enjoyed Iori, and he was like, okay. But when we went into the second beta, like just finding out what other characters can do. I was seeing him do all these weird setups with Rio. Like I was like choking up. I was like, oh my god, he's like really enjoying it. He's laughing and shit.
I mean, I can understand the roster being like going back to the whole Kim thing. I can understand like being upset that one of your favorites is not in it. Like I was always gutted when Andy Bogart didn't make the cut in either CVS game because Andy is my favorite.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, wow. who the fuck says these things out loud? Like,
Me, obviously.
but yeah, Andy Bogart. Like,
Andy Bogart,
he's so handsome in KOF 15. Like, what the fuck?
But yeah, he was in either beta, but you know, I played. What's the name of that new girl that looks like she came out of Jet Set Radio?
Isla.
Yeah, La Isla Bonita. Dude, I just, you know, picked her up because she was like, I was like, oh, all these new characters. I chose the ridiculous looking one, and then I was like, I'll try Isla, and I was like, wow, she's really fun. And
Yeah.
she's probably gonna be my point, the point character in my team.
Yeah.
And then because I'm a fanboy, it's gonna be Andy and Iori, so you know.
Sure, you know, but you know, you get to try all these different characters out for the betas.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know, people were complaining, oh, why didn't they just put the beta 1 characters in there as well? I'm like, dude, this is great.
Yeah, exactly. You tried them already. You can try some new characters now. What the hell, dude?
Yeah, I mean, some people were not able to play the first beta, and you know,
I mean, sure,
we're talking about PC players as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was so much expression and enjoyment out of trying all these different characters and how they would play and all that, figuring them out. It was really fun. But when it comes to like the roster for 15, I'm going to say, I was like, wait, this is not 50 characters. This is going to be a 39 character roster. That's kind of bit oof because you're reusing some assets from 14.
Yeah.
But if they are focusing on okay, first of all, 39 is a lot of characters.
I mean, yeah, even if you take into consideration that you have to choose 3, that's still like a lot.
Yeah. And there's also the whole fact that KOF 15 is the roster seems to be more focused on like main storyline.
Yeah.
You know, there are some fan favorites in there. There are some goofy entries in there, but most of it is actually story focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a sad fact of life that there's going to be DLC characters, right? And they want them to be, you know. What have they said about that? Have they mentioned anything? Because you follow the news a lot more than me.
Oh yeah. There's 4 teams already announced for the first. No, I mean they're not announced as in everybody knows what their names are. There are 4 teams that are going to be DLC, and it's going to be. There's even one slot which is a single character, and that might be an unlockable, you know.
Okay, that would be cool, yeah.
Yeah, we're speculating about that, but that's a really good indication in terms of like, we're hoping that KOF 15 is going to be the actual platform that's being built on, not like MVCI. It was a sad day.
That was a sad day, yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, I hope that we get support for many years. And even on day 1, it's still going to be a great deal for anybody who buys it on, like, say, a sale or whatever. Like, if somebody buys it down the line in 6 months or whatever, and they get a sale price for it, it's going to be like, what? You're going to get 39 characters.
Yeah, and let's say 6 months, it would probably be like 25 euros, 30 euros tops. That's a great deal, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wish, I will admit, I wish they did the Street Fighter V route where they're like, you can earn the characters, but, you know, that's too bad.
Yeah, I don't think that model really worked with fighting games. Because Street Fighter V tried it and then it stopped, and then you had like Killer Instinct and Dead or Alive 5 going for that, you know, like you get these characters for free. But
I think it might work if you don't try to actually handicap the fucking earning of fight money.
Yeah. I think
that's the reason why it didn't work.
Yeah,
because people were literally, they were like, okay, do all these combo trials and then you can get all the money. Okay, I'm just going to hack the game and make it all have all the combo trials.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, how dare you do this? Okay, we're going to take out this thing and take out this thing.
I know, that
Like-
was so stupid.
Yeah. I really
Yeah.
thought it was like something you can actually grind towards, you know?
Yeah, and
As long as they don't chop your legs off. it'll be
exactly, yeah, and plus that's how it always was with fighting games back in the day. You know, even with like the vanilla version of Street Fighter 4, or
Yeah.
Street Fighter 4 rather, like you kept unlocking the characters as you went, and like Marvel
Oh.
2 was the same, and CVS 1 I think you unlocked some
oh.
characters. You know, I can understand how that is a problem with tournaments.
Yeah, but this is more, you know, I mean, we're talking about DLC and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think it's a different thing than unlocking characters that are hidden in the game.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that, you know, how, like with Street Fighter 5,
Yeah.
how you got like the fight money, Zenny or whatever it's called,
Mm-hmm.
and you got that through playing the game, and it was like the idea was similar, but the implementation of it was so bad that
Yeah, that was the real problem behind that.
yeah, but it seems like they're not getting the right feedback over at Capcom. I don't know what to say, because
I think they were just like, oh, we're going to lose money over this.
yeah, it was probably something like that. Yeah.
I'm just like, you know, if you're going to make a game that is using 3D models, you can monetize your costumes and people are going to fucking buy costumes.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
so
what DOA does.
Yeah.
Like, what was like the if you wanted in DOA 5, if you wanted to buy every single costume, I think it was more, at some point it was more than
It was like
€1,000.
500.
I think it was,
Yeah,
I remember
crazy.
800 something, and that was not the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. What's it called? It was really weird because I was like, I remember when DOA 6,
Hmm.
is it 6?
6, yeah, is the latest one, yeah.
That's the latest one, right?
Yeah.
And they were like, we're going to put Kasumi in this Samus bodysuit because it's too sexualized to be wearing this thing.
I know,
But here's the old costume in the store if you want to buy it. Fucking hell. I hate that. I hate that so much. I'm like, don't desexualize characters just so you can fucking
Yeah, it's
Anyway.
yeah. That's we could do an episode just on that, I think.
Have you ever thought, okay, so, you know, it's, you know, I'm thinking like all the things that you've thought about for KOF 15.
Yeah.
And, like, what players would you love to see pick up this game?
In Greece or in general?
In general. Let's talk
In
about
general, yeah. Well, my favorite player of all time is Alex Valle.
Yeah.
He was like because when I first got into the whole scene, he was like the guy to beat, and he always had this, like, you know, rust down style, completely overwhelming you with his offense.
Yes.
And so that's very KOF. Like, I don't know why he never really picked the game up.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there was no money in the tournaments for it, but sure.
sure, yeah. But back in the day, you know, they didn't really play for the money anyway, because he's an old dude. He's older than me.
True. Yeah.
But now he has a kid and everything, so I don't think that's gonna happen. You know, but I really want to see what Juicebox does with this game, because
Juicebox plays this game like crazy.
I know, yeah. He's a big KOF fan, and he's one of the
Yeah.
people that always like try to showcase fighting games that not many people play.
Yeah.
And that's what I really appreciate about this guy. And he's very likable. He's kind of strange, but then again, who isn't?
Yeah.
And I really want to see what he does with the game. And here in Greece, I'm gonna say fucking Iron Bullet. What's his excuse? You know, fucking play the game, dude.
Oh, the fucking call out. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I'm calling him out. Yeah, that's right.
Like, what the fuck's your excuse, Malaka? Well, I mean, like, you know, for me, in terms of esports and like the bigger overall scene, like, I'm thinking like Sien. Sien he's from Singapore.
Yeah.
His actual first team. Do you remember his first team name? Like the initials? It was DM.
Oh, that's right.
Desperation.
Yeah, that's right. That's wow. That takes me back.
Because KOF was the first game he took seriously. Actually, yeah. I mean, most people in the arcade did. So
yeah.
It's no surprise. But and then like I want to see like somebody like Sakonoko. I feel like I'm not sure about his history with KOF, but but like the freedom of expression and all that, like all the things that he was known for.
Yeah.
I feel like if I can see that in KOF 15, that would be like pretty fucking amazing personally.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah. And then on the more Western side, like Justin Wong, for example.
Yeah.
Like, he is going to play lame.
For sure.
He's going to... And what was I talking about earlier? Like, the game's pace of how it's being how it can be controlled and all that stuff. To see that from Justin might be really great. I mean, yes, he did fight Sakonoko in 14. I think it was like Evo Japan or something. I don't think it was Evo Japan, but it was something. Maybe he'll be playing that game. Actually, I've seen like a lot of people like Kizzy K and so many fighting game players that actually look really interested in it, not just chilling for it.
Like somebody else we know.
Let's be very, very fair. But yeah, I think that this is the hope for people who want depth. Like, I'm not gonna shit on the other games, even though I do in my real life. But I'm not gonna shit on the other games. But I feel that KOF 15 just brings something very different from the table, to the table that is actually familiar to a lot of old school players. And if anybody wants to start learning the game and understanding why the game works and how and if they can change their mindsets and learn why they're not doing so well in their Guilty Gear Strives tournaments. Now, I'm not shading on Strive. I'm shading on the fucking no, but
No, I know what you mean. Yeah, and it's an important thing to understand why your mindset is not working, or why what is conducive to your winning and what is not.
Please don't watch this. Please don't listen to this podcast after the 14th of February when KOF 15 has come out, and I've got like the biggest losing streak in the country here.
Nah, I'll be playing too, so that will be me. Although,
no, I'm gonna press buttons and wake up, and people are gonna be like, "Yo,
that's the name of my podcast, pressing buttons and wake up." That's what it translates to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Although,
I mean,
and this is not something I like to say a lot, but I am the reigning King of Fighters 14 champion in Greece. It was a huge tournament with like 0 people who had ever played the game before. And it was like 4 of us or 5. But nobody's gonna play that game ever again, so I'm gonna be the reigning champion until the end of time.
Oh, I see. So, everybody, we're going to put him on the pedestal. We're going to expect guides. We're going to expect game facts wikis.
That's right. Combo videos, yeah.
I'm going to print out all the fucking game facts things that he's going to type out,
Which,
he's going to...
Again, for the younger people listening, that was a thing. Like
that was a thing.
That was a thing. Like, he'd get like a FAQ file which was translated to like 140 pages, which I printed.
Did you get?
I printed that once back in college, and like the guys over at the computer office were like giving me the stink eye for the entire semester.
Because you used all the ink and all the paper.
Yeah.
No, but like, using old folders that were used for your for all their assignment papers, and then you you finish the school year and then you take the same folder and you use it for your Metal Gear Solid Metal Gear Solid 1 guide or something like that, like, or even worse, the RPG guide, which you need another 5 fucking folders
Jesus,
for.
yeah.
Anyway,
Freaking games, man.
So yeah, I mean, I don't mean to sound like KOF is the boomer game. No, I think it's just going to be very different. And if everybody is, if most people are bored and don't feel like going back to their good old games like Third Strike or whatever, I mean, feel free to go back to them. But you want to try out KOF 15, I think we have a good time coming. And if the community can gather together, it will be like, I'm excited to see how the community grows. Because if it doesn't, I can be like, fuck y'all, I'll play with the rest of Europe. But yeah, I think it's something where you have this opportunity to try out, to maybe even break out in a game that is not so widely popular. But I feel like a lot of people are going to get into it, actually.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I'm shilling.
Yeah, so maybe you want to talk about your plans for tournaments? Just to wrap it up here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I will do an interest check pretty soon. Find out about whether, how many we're going to play with. I might go talk to some people about, well, there is some programs that I can enroll us into for getting like not really sponsorships, but it's more like endorsed, like people say this is an official tournament for Greece or stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. We are seeing a lot of growth for the Guilty Gear Strive community.
That's right. Yeah.
We've seen a lot of people join their tournaments and be able to hang out on a daily basis, and I feel that's really nice. I would really like that in terms of KOF. It's one step at a time and all that.
Yeah,
but
of course.
We still got Mr. Spooky of Greece, Lionheart P, providing very good stream quality, whether it's him streaming or me streaming or whoever.
That's right.
It's going to be a good thing. And I'm talking to some people, like the person who is the other person on this voice call, that about doing things, being part of the actual tournaments. So local tournaments are for growing. And I really hope that we can not let you guys down in terms of trying to facilitate this. Yes.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain, I'm fairly optimistic that we're gonna do, our best at trying to foster an environment where people who want to try the game and want to be part of the community to grow into better players, or just not even become better players. Fuck that. I mean, just like have an environment where they can play the game and have fun with it. I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Yeah. So let's hope that the game is supported for many years and we can build some memories, because that's really important. That's the thing we need right now, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, guys, from the looks of it, COVID isn't really going anywhere. So we might as well accept that, we're gonna have a lot of free time in our hands. Because we're not gonna be able to go outside as much as we wanted to. So why not? Now I'm shilling. Why not join the King of Fighters tournament? And why not train for it?
Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do about doing a little local gathering thing for just for the launch event. Yeah. Just for the launch.
That would.
I mean,
would
it's
be
more
fun.
it's more for an excuse for me to throw a party. That's all.
Well,
But we'll see.
What's better than that? You will cook. People will hang out. You'll play King of Fighters. Sounds like a good day to me.
It's just one of those things where basically, oh, okay, you can't play any other game. That's the only problem that you're going to complain about.
True, yeah.
Okay, so thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for talking to me and being on the podcast. I think that these are going to be two very interesting episodes.
Okay, that's great. Thank you very much. I hope that if anybody has questions, any like doubts or whatever, or how does mechanics work, how does button work, just talk to us and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. Any shout outs? Anything in specific?
That's the one thing I didn't. That's the one thing I didn't prepare for.
It just occurred to me too. I was like, how do they usually finish up these things? Oh yeah, shout outs.
Fine, you're all good.
All right, Frelisse, thank you very much.
All right, thank you again. Goodbye.
Yeah, that makes sense.